If it's Tuesday, this must be Lawrence. Jon D Barker tagged me to talk about 5 films. I'm taking a week to do it. Yesterday, Duck Soup. Today, Lawrence of Arabia. I first saw this movie when it opened in 1962 at the Criterion Theater, a grand old movie palace near Times Square. And I just need to say this flat out. You must, at some point in your life, see Lawrence of Arabia on a big screen. I mean it. Seriously. It's just one of those movies that has to go big. Not big screen TV, but big cinema screen. I felt that way about Gravity last year. I feel that way about Lawrence every year. Movie technology has come a long way since the 60s. Stunts are more extreme. Computer graphics, motion capture, digital color grading, new generations of cameras and stabilizers, drones. It's possible now to put impossible images on the screen. But director David Lean had one thing going that today's filmmakers can't afford. Reality. The action scenes in Lawrence are not CGI. To quote Terry Hatcher in Seinfeld, they're real and they are spectacular. The desert locations are breathtaking. You could even argue that the desert, photographed by Freddie Young, is really the star of the film. You could argue that Young's camera is the star. Screenplay by Robert Bolt is filled with memorable, quotable lines. It balances hard cynicism with an almost mystical fervor. The score by Maurice Jarre has themes that will get into your head and never leave. Outstanding cast and performances, especially Alec Guinness as Prince Faisal, Anthony Quinn as Audu Abutai. Although these are characterizations and casting choices that feel a little uneasy today. We are not actually Arabs, but we do have latex noses. Jose Ferrer in a brief but searing role as the Turkish bey who tortures and off-camera rapes Lawrence. And at the center of the film, Peter O'Toole, intense, beautiful, twitchy. You do believe he could be that guy. His screen credit reads, Introducing Peter O'Toole as T.E. Lawrence, even though it's not his first film, or even his first nose for that matter, but that's another story. The film made an instant star of O'Toole. The story covers events that still shape our headlines. It takes place during World War I, the stirrings of Arab independence against moves by the British to capture control of Arab lands from the Turks. But don't expect a deep history lesson. The history is there mainly as a flavoring. The core of the film is an exploration of the mystique and psyche of Lawrence. This is a film that simply could not be made today for many reasons. Logistical, economic, political. Probably the biggest reason is this. Nowadays, when you get a big budget to do a big film, your choices are pretty well defined by marketers. Lawrence is not that. It's almost eccentric in its choices. No women have speaking parts, although women are seen and heard ululating. Ululating? Look it up. Oh, never mind. I'll get it. There's no female love interest. The story seems constructed backwards for a popular film. In Act 1, Lawrence triumphs. In Act 2, he descends into madness, despair, and inhuman cruelty. His accomplishments crumble, and then he's hustled into a jeep and trundled off stage. Personal impact? I completely fell in love with this film 52 years ago. I've seen it theatrically every decade since. Bad news, the film was shortened after the first run. 20 minutes were lost, then another 15 lost when it went to TV. Good news, a major restoration was undertaken in 1989 under the supervision of the director. Even better news, in 2012, the 50th anniversary year, Sony released a 4K digital restoration that is in some ways better than the original. They did it for the Blu-ray, and that will do if you must, but big screen in a theater is what you really want. I didn't wait for the restoration to come to a theater near me. I actually flew to London to see it at BFI South Bank. I invited some of my YouTube friends to see it with me, and John, I'm sorry I didn't know you at the time. I wish you had been there. Maybe next time it comes around. Might as well start tagging now instead of waiting till Friday. Morgan Page, Paul Neefsey, Jason Beck, Brierly Bishop, Sammy Paul. Until next time, I'm Mickeleh. DVD extras. I want to focus on the oldest actor in the featured cast and one of the youngest. Ironically, both of them were at the end of their movie careers. The oldest actor, Claude Rains. When he made this movie, he was about the age that I am now. He plays a composite character called Mr. Dryden. He stands in for the entire British Arab Bureau and British government. Dryden caps a career in this film playing suave, cynical, sometimes unsavory roles, going back to King John in The Adventures of Robin Hood, Inspector Renault in Casablanca, corrupt Senator Payne in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and sad, sinister Alexander Sebastian in Hitchcock's Notorious. We never do learn Dryden's first name. Could it be Liam? The young actor, Mickeleh, plays Faraj, one of 2 teenage orphans who become devoted to Lawrence. When he made the film, he was about the age I was then. I guess he's still my age. I first saw the film with a college friend who told me at intermission he had gone to high school with Mickeleh in Switzerland. Ray dropped out of show business after Lawrence dropped into Harvard University, was an Olympic skier for Great Britain twice, had a successful business career, married well. His wife is heir to the Heineken beer fortune. Forbes estimates the couple now has more than $10 billion. Prost! Here's Peter O'Toole on the Letterman show talking about making Lawrence of Arabia. Really funny. And here is my review from yesterday. Duck Soup. Bye now.